We talked about the various steps companies ought to be taking to better protect themselves and ultimately respond to cyber incidents and cyber crises. So a lot of talk around incident response plans. Very different to have a plan in writing that may sit in a shelf than actually testing that plan and obviously see it unfold in the event of a crisis. As General Eisenhower said at one point, in preparation for battle, I've often found plans to be useless, but planning to be indispensable. So ultimately, what are the various lessons you can take out of tests you're doing to yourself, red teaming and vulnerability assessments, and then what mistakes can you be learning from others, and so you don't have to make them yourself, that you can put in place in the event of a crisis. Well, good mock scenario, firstly you need a story that's real. Secondly, you need to recognize that whatever you think the story is at the time, that it's got to be able to adapt to external events and extenuating circumstances. And thirdly, it has to be tough enough that it's not a check the box where you can simply hit that snooze button and say I did it, but hard enough where you can actually struggle for it. You can actually learn something, but not so hard. I mean, if you're dealing with a nation-state actor, which the sad reality is how many companies went into business thinking they're defending against foreign intelligence services, but that's precisely what's happening. So a pessimist is allegedly an optimist with experience. I tend to be optimistic, though. So I think long term, I am optimistic. In the short term, we're probably going to have, unfortunately, a couple more significant incidents before people recognize the severity of the threat, the severity of the challenge. And at the end of the day, policy without resources, there's a lot of policy, but if you're not backing it up with resources in terms of personnel and material, money, it's rhetoric.